Thank you, John. Thanks for the invitation, and it's been an exciting day here. So I'll try to do three things today. First, maybe I'll try to hopefully tell you something new that you haven't heard so far, and that's challenging given the stellar speakers before me. But I'll give you a sense of the experience we have had in the last several months building a generative AI solution for a major enterprise company. I'll try to talk about kind of the last mile problems that come up when you try to build something like this. And I'll try to end up with where I see there are opportunities for startups and other companies in helping build solutions for large enterprise companies. So to start with, I guess today we have talked ad nauseum about what generative AI. But just to repeat, generative AI is a set of AI algorithms based on deep learning that today can generate pretty much anything you want. They can generate text, images, pretty soon very good videos, speech, even proteins. Here looking at the world's first AI-generated protein was developed by my lab, published recently in Nature. So as you can see, AI is already very powerful at generating new things. Just to repeat, this has been made possible through various breakthroughs, but most recently with a set of models called generative pre-trained transformers, which combine the power of deep neural nets with billions of parameters, lots of training data, which you can learn from using self-supervision, and the ability to use so-called attention mechanism and transformers, where you can have a deeper understanding of the data that the model is learning from. And this has led to really impressive improvements in generating all kinds of unstructured data. So when we talk to our customers, they are very excited about this. They are reading about this in the news. And they all believe that generative AI can empower companies to do a lot more with a lot less. So we talked to many leaders in the industry, and we did a survey, and we found that 67% of leaders believe that generative AI will help them better serve their customers in the very near future, the next 12 to 18 months. But at the same time, they are struggling to put it to use. 66% of leaders said that they don't have employees who have the skills to leverage generative AI in the right way. And that's where the companies like Salesforce and a slew of startups are going to start in this space come in. Companies can build solutions that can help customers deploy generative AI in their workflow. And at Salesforce, we recently launched Einstein GPT, which is the first trusted generative AI solution for CRM. So it has a slew of capabilities that we plan to launch in the near future. So for example, for sales, you can generate insights and leads. For service, it can generate responses to questions. For marketing, it can do asset generation. For Salesforce platform, it can write new code like Apex using a Copilot. With Tableau, that I think many of you use, it can use conversational insights and visualization. And for Slack, you can have summaries and search and all the other nice tools. So how do you kind of leverage these things? Just to show you some examples. So here's an example of a customer service use case. I have a customer come in, and the customer asks about, I want to buy this specific type of jacket. And before, the customer service agent is probably scrambling to search the web or internal database to learn more about the product. But now, a generative AI model can directly pull in information about the product from an internal database and give you an answer that's composed in a nice way. And then you can use it to answer the question. Similarly, if the person follows up with a question that's more specific to that product or something that relates to knowledge from the rest of the world, like here, it's asking about the temperature in a particular place. The model can now connect to the web and pull external information in and use that to answer your question. So as you can already imagine, this can massively accelerate customer service, make people more efficient, and provide better experience. Here is a second use case that's around marketing. So here, the customer service the marketer, they want to build a website for a new product launch. And they can essentially communicate with the assistant, which is an AI model, to generate information and generate content about the use case that they care about. So in this case, a launch of a new store. And the model can give you a copy which you can edit and modify and use to create the page. Of course, you don't want to just have text. You want to have other kinds of multimodal content. So here you can also generate images, and then you can use that to build your landing page. And again, all of these capabilities you have seen a model like GPT-4 or ChatGPT do, but in the enterprise use case, you can pull all of this together to build a kind of a one-stop solution for your customers, which already has access to your customer data. And this is where I think when you build a tool like this for enterprise, you can see the last mile problem come in. So here, when you're building this tool, realize that marketers just don't want to generate a random image. They want to take the import content that they already have and modify it as they see fit. And that's something that AI models couldn't do very well until very recently. So if I have this image, for example, and I have paid some very expensive creative person to create it, and I want to change the scene to a different color, that's not really possible with today's AI models. So we actually experimented with lots of the commercially available models, but also latest academic research, and we found that the current models were just not good at editing visual content. So here you're looking at an image on the left, and when you try to change this image to an image of a different animal, current methods struggle. So here I want to turn this picture of a cat into a picture of a ferret. As you can see, this method put in the ferret in the middle, but it made this bar disappear. Or on the right, it put the ferret all the way in the back, and a bunch of other stuff disappeared as well. So we found that the existing methods could not preserve details of the original image. And that's just one example of kind of capabilities that these models do not have at the moment. And so then we built a custom solution. It's an algorithm called Edict, published in a top conference recently, where we focused on how can we accurately edit images using AI. And so here, again, you have the same example. But as you can see, our model is able to preserve all other details and then generate the ferret. Some of you might have a keen eye. I might notice that there is some additional data that the model added. But overall, this is much better than what you have already. And then this method can do all kinds of things. So you can change objects in the background. So here you have a real image from marketing content of a red chair. And then you can replace the sand with grass or snow. You can also change the object in the foreground. So you might have a dog breed, and then you can change the type of dog while preserving all the complex grass in the back. You can change styles, so you can use different styles of painting or different styles of image content, or even you can do complex object transformation. So you have an image of a real statue, and you can make the statue raise its arms or walk, and so on and so forth. So as you can see, generative AI can do all these incredible things. And when you build an enterprise solution, you might have to solve some last mile problems where you might have to build custom solutions that help you get to the seamless experience. So just to end with, what do enterprise customers care about today? I think it's one thing to play with an off-the-shelf model that's on the web. But I think when you try to build a solution for customers, they care about security, safety, and ethics first and foremost. You need to make sure that your model is compliant to all kinds of regulations, that it can do content moderation. Because when you put out a model in the wild, which interacts with customers, you can get all kinds of crazy things that the customer might try to do when interacting with your model. So you need to have a good safety moderation layer. Of course, I think as these models start learning from data, customers care a lot about things like model ownership, data privacy. How is my data going to be fed to a closed source model? Or how do I retain ownership over data that I own or I care about? So these things become important. And finally, something that is not at the top of the mind for people today, but it will be soon, will be things like cost to serve and latency. As the models become more widely adopted, and as you need to make millions and millions of API calls, that cost can really add up, especially if you are relying on external APIs. And that will become an important piece of the conversation as these models get widely used. And finally, of course, as the models become more powerful, they can do more complex things. they could become slower. So how do you deal with things like latency? How do you try to give a real-time experience? Depending on where you're serving the model becomes very important. So yeah, if you are interested in chatting about any of these things, I would love to get in touch. This is my email address. And if you want to talk about generative AI for text, for pixels, for biomolecules, or for how do you build enterprise-grade AI solutions, I'm happy to chat after this event. Thank you so much.